Welcome to the Virginia is for Laughers podcast, brought to you by the funny Womacs and Friends. If you're looking to get more out of your Shenandoah Valley experience, then this is the podcast for you. You'll meet interesting people, musicians, and comedians that perform here and find out more about what you can do and see. Whether you live here or plan to visit, listen to explore what makes our unique slice of heaven. Now here's your host, Don Davis Womack.
Hello, Laughers. Today we're ready to dive into the fall spirit with Vernon Wright from Hill High Farm in Winchester, Virginia. Known for its vibrant pumpkin patch and thrilling haunted nightmares attraction, Hill High Farm is a family-owned century farm that has been celebrating the harvest season for over 27 years, give or take, Vernon says. Whether you're looking for fun-filled family activities like hayrides and corn mazes or seeking spine-tingling thrills in their haunted house and escape rooms, Hill High Farm has something for everyone. We'll chat with Vernon about the farm's history, their fall festivities, and what keeps visitors coming back year after year to this charming piece of the Shenandoah Valley. So let's get into it. Welcome to the show, Vernon. It's great to have you on today.
Thanks, Dawn. Great to be here and to be doing this today.
Me too. This farm is quite extensive, more than the Laughers can see on their video right now, which is why you all need to come. And I can't wait to get into this because we had such a lovely chat when you were showing me around. I got to learn a little bit about your family history, and I'm excited to share this with you today, Laughers. So first question for you is, can you tell us a little bit about the history of the Hill High Farm and what it means to be a century farm? Because I don't quite understand that.
All right. Hill High Farm, it's been in the family. We're recognized as a century farm, which means it's been in the family for over 100 years.
Okay.
Actually, it's probably been in the family for closer to 200 years.
Wow.
My grandfather, he raised Angus cattle, had raised quarter horses. My dad started when he was in the early 70s, started a dairy. We had a dairy operation also.
Oh, wow.
Up to 2004, and we got a dairy business. Now we just run a cow-calf operation.
I'm sorry, a what?
Cow-calf operation.
Okay.
Cattle.
Okay, thank you.
Run cow-calves. We farm row crop, grow probably 70, 80 acres of corn every year, hay. We also do the pumpkin patch and our fall festivities also.
Wow. So you grew up on this farm and learned early on how to take care of it, I imagine.
Yes, ma'am. This is where I grew up.
What kind of activities does a young boy do on a farm?
There's a lot of stuff to do.
Okay.
I mean, once the work's done, I enjoy hunting. I mean, I'd like to hunt. I've always been a big fan of, any kind of motorsports and working on trucks and stuff like that. So I've done all that in my spare time.
Yeah, you do a lot in your spare time. One of the other things, Laughers, he tells me that he does is you are an auctioneer.
Yes, ma'am, I am.
How long have you been doing that?
Approximately 15 years.
How did you get into that again?
Me and a friend of mine went to a lot of auctions, and he came up with the idea. He was like, why don't we go to school and become auctioneers? I'm like, okay. So I went to school, and I pursued it, and I've done a lot of auctions over the past 15 years. Sold a little bit of everything. You name it, I've just about sold it probably. Real estate, goats, chickens, personal property, a little bit of everything.
Oh, my God. There's a school for auctioneering.
Yes, ma'am.
How long is that?
It was 2 weeks.
Okay. So
a lot of it depends on how far you want to take it in practice and how good you want to get. You think you can count when you get in front of a bunch of people and start counting. You realize how good you can count when you have an audience in front of you.
So you're the guy who's going da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay. It comes natural to you.
It took a lot of practice.
Yeah.
Everybody says I talk fast anyway, so.
You do kind of talk fast. You really do. What inspired you to open up the farm to the public in the fall, and how did that evolve over these last several years?
Actually, years ago, my mom, we had a dairy then, and somebody contacted her from friends, had some kids they wanted to bring out for a field trip.
Okay.
And they actually got to see the dairy, which we have property on the west side of Cedar Creek Grade, where the dairy was. Then we brought them over here and had a little pumpkin patch and a little straw bale maze, just a few groups, and it just kind of escalated from there, and become what we are today.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place out here.
Thank you.
Gorgeous, and that's an incredible legacy to have 200 years of farming going on in your family. Your pumpkin patch is a popular attraction. Can you tell us what visitors who have never been here can expect when they come enjoy the season?
We have a packing shed, like I was explaining to you earlier.
A packing shed?
Yes, it was. It's a barn, and all this used to be an orchard here at one time. I've got some orchard planted now, but they used to pack apples in barrels, and they had apple graders. And we cleaned it up, and my wife has fixed it up as a store with all kinds of baked goods and fall items, ciders.
Looks good in there, Laughers.
All kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they can expect to get a pumpkin. We do hayrides to the pumpkin patch, which they get a small pumpkin. Takes about a half an hour, 45 minutes. It's a decent, nice hayride. There's all kinds of things up here for the kids to do. We have some playground toys, round bale maze. We actually have a 10-acre corn maze also. For the older kids and some of the adults, if they really want to try something, we have the haunted house and escape rooms.
Yeah. How old do you have to be to go out? I imagine there's a minimal age.
We recommend 12 and up, but
okay.
I've seen 5-year-olds go through it, and I've seen 22-year-olds that couldn't. So it's a high...
Or 54-year-olds like me.
I mean, it's a high startle attraction. It's not blood and guts, just a high startle attraction. A lot of animated and pneumatic props in there. I mean, it's a professional built haunt.
Yeah. So Laughers, on this farm, to give you some idea, the actual haunted house attraction is this building behind the corn stalks, if you can see it down there. And it's up year round, right?
Yes, ma'am. We run it through the month, last weekend of September and every weekend through October.
And originally, though, it was not a building. It was a tent, you were telling me.
Yes, ma'am.
So let's talk about that story, about what inspired you to first have the tent and then build a building. And
what actually kind of started, we were doing hayrides, and we started a haunted hayride.
Okay.
And dealing with Mother Nature and all the elements, we decided to go to a haunted house. It's more controlled environment. And the first year, we bought the haunt and we put it under a 40 by 100 tent, and that was a lot of work to put the tent up, put the haunt up, all the electronics, and in the fall, you have a lot of damp nights, and the tent was like a greenhouse. So any electronics, we had a lot of electronics get ruined the first year.
Ah, I see.
So after we tore the haunt down and tore the tent down, we said, no, this is not going to happen. So we built the building.
Wow.
And it's been there for 22 years.
22 years. I have so many questions. How does one buy a haunt? What is... What is?
I don't know.
Is this a package?
That's a good question.
How does this work?
I guess like we say, we kind of started with the haunted hayrides and got into a lot of the actors and some masks and so forth back then, and there was no haunted house in the area.
Yeah.
So we figured we'd take that step and see what we could do. And the first few years was slow, but it finally caught on.
Yeah.
The old saying, "You build it, they will come." They have come.
Is there a store to buy haunt packages, or catalog? What is happening?
Actually, there is a trade show in St. Louis every year. It's in March. And we started this, and we started going to the trade show, and you cannot walk it and see it in a day. And I didn't
really. It's that massive.
I didn't realize the haunted industry was that big until we actually went to the trade show.
That's amazing.
It's pretty impressive. I mean, with the costumes and the masks and the makeups and the animatronics, and it's just there's so much stuff out there.
What is like a low budget haunt and the high end? Like, what's the range of investment in a haunt? Oh boy, I asked a good question.
We've got over the years we've accumulated a lot of stuff, and I honestly couldn't give you a dollar amount on it. I mean, it's we have a good amount of animatronics and props, and when we first started, it was a lot of masks, and we have a couple of girls that help us now. They're really good help, and they do awesome on makeup.
Okay.
And it's so much easier for people to wear makeup. Masks are hot, and if you yell at somebody, it comes right back in your face. We try to do makeup, and usually a couple nights of the year, I get makeup and I go play in the haunt.
What kind of roles have you played, Vernon?
I usually play a Grim Reaper.
Do you love doing that?
Yeah, I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun scaring people. And as far as an actor, I've seen it change a lot of people because they don't know who you are, and you get to interact and invade. You're not allowed to touch both ways. We tell them, the customers cannot touch the actors, and actors can't touch you. You might brush, but you can invade their personal space, and you can scare them, and it changes people's personalities sometimes. I've seen people come here shy, and a year of acting and scaring people, it changes them a little bit.
Yeah, they get more confident.
Yes, they do, and it's a lot more fun. They come out of their shell.
Oh, okay. That's actually good.
Yeah.
I like that. How many actors did you say you have?
On a really busy night, we have 20 to 25 actors.
Okay. Where do you find them?
A lot of high school kids, friends, family, just, big community. We know a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of high school kids help. We usually lose them in a couple years because they go off to college. Then we get a new group, every few years, but mostly high school kids and a few adults.
So do you reach out to them every year and go, hey, it's about time?
We have a Facebook page, and we put out, and anybody wants to act, and just word of mouth. We've been doing this so long that we don't have any problem getting actors.
And when are the haunted house attraction hours? When is that? When does it happen?
It'll be Friday from 7 to 11, Saturday 1 to 11, and Sunday 1 to 5. Then the last 2 Thursday we're also open from 7 to 10.
Yeah, this is seasonal
Yes,
place right now. So you're open kind of into September, right? Till October 31st?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And this will be dropping on October 16th. So Laughers, you will have 2 weeks to take advantage of this until next year.
And if you come to the haunted house, come early because you'll have to wait in line if you don't come early.
For real?
Yes, ma'am. There'll be a 2-3 hour wait at times.
Oh, wow. But there's other activities they can do
Yes, ma'am.
while they're here. They can go shopping, right? In the pumpkin patch. What else do we have going on?
We also do a nighttime hayride. It's not haunted, it's just a nighttime hayride. And we also have a nighttime corn maze. And plus the escape rooms they can do also.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. For the escape rooms, I like how you call the night hayride a moonlight.
Yeah, it's a moonlight hayride.
Yeah, that sounds really
out
great.
to the pumpkin patch, you get to pick a pumpkin at night.
I love
It's
that.
gotten very popular.
Yeah, I can imagine so. I've definitely got my eyes on that one. But the escape rooms sound very fascinating too. Can you talk to us about, there's 5?
Yes, ma'am. There's 5 escape rooms. They're 15-minute rooms. A lot of people do hour rooms. We, as many people we have coming through, give everybody a chance to do it. So we decided to go. We started out with 10-minute rooms and went to 15-minute rooms. And 4 of our rooms, you go in and there's a series of puzzles and things you have to get to find an objective or a prize. One of the rooms you actually are locked in and you have to figure how to get out of it. I'm not going to reveal that. You have to come check us out. But there is one room that you are locked in. You have to try to get out of.
Okay. And is that the jail room?
Yes.
Okay. Can you describe that a little bit, or do you want to hold that tight to the vest?
Let's hold that tight and let them come out and check it out for themselves.
Okay, fair enough. Are the escape rooms, talk to me about tickets. So is each attraction have its separate ticket?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you talk a little bit about those ticket prices a little bit?
Our escape rooms are, I think they're $8 a person. Our haunted house is $15 a person. Our daytime attraction is, let me back up. The daytime attraction is a little lighter for the younger kids and the daytime crowd, just a little lighter. We don't have quite the actors. Now, nighttime, we ramp it up a lot.
Okay.
It's more scary at night. So our daytime attraction is a little cheaper. I think it's $12 during the day and $15 at nights.
Gotcha.
Our hayride's $8. Our corn maze is $8 also.
Affordable.
But you could actually, we charge no admission to come in here. If you want to bring a picnic basket and come up here and sit down under our pavilion and have lunch, and you wouldn't have to spend a penny here. You come up here and enjoy the views, and you wouldn't have to, like I say, you wouldn't have to spend a penny.
So it's only when you're doing one of the attractions that
Yes.
you got to get a ticket.
Yes, ma'am.
They have a beautiful, things around here are very well built, my friends. So their pavilion has got, how many picnic tables are under there? I want to say 20 or so.
At least, yes.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And then you also have something else you're building behind that picnic pavilion. Let's talk about that. This is exciting, Laughers. So depending on when you hear this, you're going to want to follow this farm regardless, because about this wonderful distillery that Vernon is building is going to be available year-round, as I understand it. So share with the Laughers what you're building, and when will it be open to the public?
We broke ground a little over a year ago doing an on-farm distillery, farm to bottle. A lot of people say food farm to table. I'm doing farm to bottle. Like I say, it is on-farm distillery. My goal is, I'm doing spirits. My goal is bourbon. I actually have a license for distillery, winery, and brewery, which in the future we will probably pursue the winery and brewery, but my goal is spirits right now. I hope to be open here in a few weeks. It's been a long progress. I mean, it's been a journey going through this, but everything's moving along. I do have my ABC license, so hopefully a few weeks here we'll be open.
In a few weeks.
Yes.
Maybe, hopefully before the end of October is the plan.
I'm pushing for that.
Ooh, Laughers, that's exciting.
Yes.
It's beautiful. I'm excited to see what's happening. I might have to come back and we can hop in the distillery and talk about that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Then we'll focus more on that. That's great. You also have baked goods here. I understand your
Yes,
wife is
my wife and my daughter, they do a lot of cookies and pies and so forth like that.
That's yummy.
We have hot apple cider, a hot apple cider when it's colder outside. When it's warm outside, the bees tend to bother you too much with the cider.
Everybody's too sweet.
Yeah, but we have baked goods up here, and the packing shed is kind of it's a little bit. There's something there for everybody.
Okay. For those first-time visitors, I imagine you've had a lot of the baked goods over the years.
Yeah, I've had to kind of lay off those. Diagnosed a couple years ago being diabetic, so stay on the sweets now.
All right. But when you were doing
I've had my share.
what are some of the fan favorites and your favorites of what she makes and your daughter makes?
The sweet potato pie or the macadamia cookies.
Oh, yeah.
That's my two favorites.
Okay. I'm going to have to check that out, too, when we come for the moonlight hayride. I'm not sure about the haunted house only because, well, I get scared.
Everybody always asks me, said, how long does it take to go through the haunt? I said, depends on how fast you run.
Probably be the fastest I ever run. Now you have 3 children. I think you had 2 sons.
I have 2 sons and a daughter.
And the sons are in their 20s. They work on the farm too.
My youngest son helps me on the farm, Nicholas. He helps me farm. My oldest son, Luke, he is a heavy equipment operator. He works on heavy equipment. Mm-hmm. He helps on the farm in the evenings, on weekends. I mean, he's a big resource to the farm. And my daughter, she's an RN, Caitlin. She helps here on weekends on the farm also.
Okay.
And my grandkids, they tag along and help out some. They're pretty small, but...
Which has got to be fun. They must love this place. You actually have something for the kids to, I can't remember what it's called, but you got a wagon there with a little small, what do you call that?
It's a barrel train.
Okay.
It's got 8 barrels on it. It's for kids, and it runs, when we open the doors at 10 o'clock, it usually does not stop. It stays busy all day. And the kids have a blast on it. And it's $3 each. Everybody gets. And if mom or dad wants to go along, we just charge for the the youngster.
Yeah.
And mom and dad can ride with them. It's a little tight for mom and dad to get in the barrels, but a lot of times the smaller kids don't want to go, and mom and dad say, if you want to jump in and go with them. And everybody has fun with it.
And where do you take them? How long is the barrel ride?
It just takes them out to the pumpkin patch and makes a loop and comes back in. It's probably about a 10-minute ride.
Okay, that's
a lot of fun. It weaves. It's like a snake. It weaves back and forth and makes circles. So it's a lot of fun. I built that about 10 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You keep adding stuff. That's really cool. There's those caricatures, like a bunch of cows where the kids come put their head through it. So I'm staring at it right across from me. So there's picture opportunities. You have the Hill High Farm here with the big pumpkin. There's a lot to actually explore here on this farm.
Is. We have a lot of animals. We have a miniature donkey and a miniature horse. We have goats and sheep and baby calves and chickens. And just a little bit of everything. People can see the animals also.
And 3 peacocks, Laughers.
Yes, we have 3 peacocks. They've been around here probably 20, 25 years, I'd say. That's how old they are. They've been around here a long time.
Where did you get the peacocks?
A friend of mine had them, and we acquired a couple over the years. We actually had more than that. And
really?
Over the years, we've lost some, but we still have 3 males. No females, just males.
Okay. So there'll still just be 3 peacocks when you get here.
I've been hunting for some more females, but females set in the spring on a nest and they won't get off, and usually varmints will get them.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah, this is interesting. I don't know. I haven't been to a lot of haunted houses, but to me, this is my first experience where it's pumpkin patch, family-friendly activities with haunted house attraction. So how do you balance the family-friendly atmosphere with the spookier side of the haunted house attraction?
I guess it all kind of goes together. I mean, Halloween, pumpkins, scary. I mean, the haunted house sits down over the hill, so we're kind of separated a little bit. Mm-hmm. But, a lot of the younger people go down that way. It bounces out. I mean, like I say, it's not blood and guts. It's just a high startle attraction.
Yeah. With a very interesting, it sounds like, final attraction. It's the Last Ride Burial Simulator.
Yes, ma'am.
That's quite an attraction.
Yeah, it actually is a casket. It's a simulated ride like you're being buried alive, and it's more comical. I mean, it's a lot of fun. And there's also a camera in there, which everybody outside can see your reaction in the casket as you're being buried alive. The casket moves. I mean, it's got sounds and scents and stuff like that in it. But I mean, it's very interesting, very comical.
Yeah. How did this idea come about?
We seen these at the show years and years ago.
In St. Louis, in that place?
Yes, and we actually come across a used unit and was able to get it. And we've had it for quite some time.
Yeah. Do people like it? What is the reactions of people that try it?
You have two people. You have people that's like, I'm not getting in a casket.
Right. That's me.
You have people like, let's try it, and they have fun with it.
Yeah.
So basically, that's your two groups of people. And you have some people that's claustrophobic and won't even think about getting in a casket.
Okay. So this is an optional part. If you go into the haunted house and you're like, I'm not going to do that, it's cool, and you just move on.
Yes.
Good to know.
And we also actually just finished up last night. We have some photo ops. They can take and share with their friends on Facebook and whatnot, social media. But we have some photo ops. We got them up last night. We're not quite finished with them, but we got some photo ops also.
Okay, photo ops meaning to market for marketing purposes.
Yes.
Okay, so you had a professional photographer come out here.
No, actually, they can take pictures themselves. It's a couple props that you can sit down with for it's kind of scary or whatnot. One of them. You kind of get a react. You kind of get a startle when you go to take the picture. You guys have to just come out and see it. It's interesting.
That is crazy. So that's new.
Yes.
Okay, you are very creative. I feel. Yeah. You just sit around thinking of ideas all the time, don't you?
Yeah. I get ideas a lot of other places also. I mean, you see a lot of different things, and you change it. Adapt it to your scene or how you want it to work.
Yeah, I think that's pretty great. So throughout the year, are there any other special events or highlights for people on the farm?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
With distillery coming, we are going to do some events through the summer.
Yeah.
Kind of tossed around a few different things to do through the summer, but we will have some events through the summer with the distillery. Okay.
What kinds of things do you plan for that? Or are you not sure yet?
Not real sure yet. Maybe a car show or bright food trucks out and have a chili cook-off. I don't know. We just bumped around a few things. Not really sure what we're going to do yet.
Mm-hmm. What would you say is the most challenging part of doing what you do here at the pumpkin patch?
Dealing with Mother Nature. As you know, we were very, very dry this summer. Mm-hmm. Corn maze is not real tall, and in the past month and a half, we've had a tremendous amount of rain. It is very wet around here right now. Things have greened back up, but dealing with Mother Nature is probably the biggest thing. Trying to get hay made, get crops in, get crops off. That's the biggest challenge.
Imagine so. And what is it that you enjoy the most about what you do?
Being outside.
Yeah.
I'm an outdoors person. I like being outside. I like the animals. I like running equipment. I like growing crops.
Yeah, and that kind of thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, this corn maze, I want to talk about that a little bit more. I was reading about it. It sounds like you got to find things at 10 acres. It seems like, how long would it take someone? It seems like a lot. So how long would it take somebody to walk through the corn maze?
I've had people do it in an hour, and I've had people that couldn't do it in 3 hours.
Okay.
It just depends how many wrong turns you take. And there's 6.
I would be challenged by that too. Go ahead.
There are 6 checkpoints in the corn maze,
okay.
And they're number 1 through 6, and each one of them have a different hole punch, so you can show that you made it to each one. And on each checkpoint, there's a riddle, and the next checkpoint gives the answer.
Oh, and there's a prize at the end of that too, or
not really a prize? It's just showing a card that you made it through.
Okay, so the prizes are attached to the escape rooms.
There's no prizes.
Oh.
Well.
I guess I want prizes.
Well, when you do the escape room, you find an objective or a prize.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's part of the experience.
Yes.
Now I got it. And you're open every weekend. What are the hours for the farm in general during the seasonal time that you're open?
We open at 10 o'clock Saturdays and Sundays here at the farm. And we actually go to 5. Usually it's a lot later than that up here. Mm-hmm. Then everything kind of switches over at 6 o'clock to the haunted house, nighttime, corn maze, and hayride.
Okay. And I know you've been playing the Grim Reaper sometimes, but on a typical day that you're open and the public's coming in for these activities, what is your role on those days?
Just keep everything moving. You always have problems, this, that, breakdowns, stuff to do. It's just little things. I'm constantly moving all day. We also own our own food trailer. So we have a food trailer here. We do, hot dogs, hamburgers. I do pulled pork, which I smoke my own pork. It's smoked with green hickory wood. It's very good. We do that every year. It's kind of a thing in the food trailer, do the smoked pork. But just, I jump from thing to thing. If somebody needs help, if we need a tractor driver, I'll jump on it. If we need help in a food trailer, I go do that. Just whatever I need to do.
Are you guys communicating with some sort of walkie-talkie devices and things like that?
No, we haven't. Everybody kind of knows what they have to do. And we just jump in and help each other, as needed.
So if you see something's needed or something needs to be done, you just do it.
Yes. And that's why, I got a lot of friends and family helping, and they're all the same way. Just, go-getters, and we get it done.
I love it. What do you think are some of the fan favorites of people that come here year after year? What kind of feedback do you hear from your regulars?
A lot of people like the animals. I mean, we've been doing it so long. And actually, I've seen, 27 years, I've seen kids coming here that now they're adults bringing their kids here.
Oh, that's great.
So, like, do you remember me? I'm like, no, I don't. They say, I say, okay, yeah. Last time I seen you was this tall. And but, they're bringing their kids here now.
Wow.
So, they like the animals. And it is a working farm. I mean, it's not pristine. It's not new built. I mean, the newest thing added is the distillery, which, I try to make it look old, but it's the distillery. But we are a working farm. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've had, quarter horses and sheep and dairy cattle and hogs. There's been everything on this farm over the years. Yeah,
Laffers. So that's, you can see that too. Mm-hmm. So it is a farm that's been in their family for 200 years. Yes. So some of the original buildings, you can see the age on them. But then when you're building this pavilion, like I said, very well built, and that distillery is going to be beautiful because you can already see that. He designed that himself, Laffers.
Yes, thank you.
Now, did you see something that inspired you, another distillery, to design it like that? Or?
Yes and no. I've been through quite a few distilleries, and I kind of got in my mind how I wanted it built and how I wanted to design it. The black siding on the building, I went black metal and burnt pine and cedar on the front. I come across a black building and I thought it was gorgeous. I'd never seen another black sided building. Now I'm seeing them everywhere. Yeah. Built this a little over a year ago, had it dried in a little over a year ago, and everybody loves the black and the cedar and the burnt pine. So
yeah, it's beautiful.
To make it rustic. Our tasting room is all shiplap and board and batten, or a tongue and groove and board and batten. Our production area is all metal, which, with the moisture and stuff, I had to do that, but it's turned out really nice. I'm really happy with it.
What's boarding batten?
Or board and batten, it's just a type of wood.
Okay.
Shiplap, tongue and groove.
I see what you mean,
just type of siding.
Okay, good. You can see I don't know much about those things. Which is okay. We can all know different things. It makes the whole world go around and makes it beautiful. How far would you say the people come typically to see your pumpkin patch? So I'm from Harrisonburg. This is in the Winchester area. What do you see? Do you see people coming long ways to?
I've seen a lot of people come out of D.C., Leesburg, places like that. And, we have had people across the pond from Switzerland, different foreign countries that come here, had family members, they brought them here and they've loved it, So I've seen people come from good ways. Haunted houses, it's amazing to me that people that are involved or like haunted houses and how far they'll travel to go to a haunt.
Really? There are people that are really into that.
Yes, they are. There are. I had no idea. Like I say, when we started this venture, I had no idea the haunted attraction was as big as, the haunted business industry was as big as it was. And, and it just keeps progressing as years go. Mm-hmm. And we have, we team up with some other haunted houses. There's another haunted house. They're open longer than we are and are open different nights than we are. And our crew will go over and help them. Then one night their crew will come over and help us.
Oh, wow.
And we cross-advertise. And there's a lot of different things like that. But it's a lot of fun. And like I say, the haunted house, people probably travel further for that than they do the pumpkin patch. There's a lot of pumpkin patches around anymore.
That's true. Yeah, and there's a lot of pumpkins at farmers markets and that type of thing as well. I see that more these days than I have in the past myself.
And we do have a lot more people on the face of this earth now.
There's that too.
Yes.
Now, pumpkins are grown right here on the farm.
Yes, ma'am.
and they're out in the patch. You can pick them. We have some right here up front towards the packing shed too, where we're sitting.
A lot of the pumpkins, now the small pumpkins that you get on a hayride, I was really worried as dry as it was summer, I wasn't going to have a crop. It actually turned out really good. All these pumpkins were growing on irrigation.
Oh.
And if I hadn't had them on irrigation, they would not be the size they are. And we grow a lot of specialties like the Cinderellas, the Blue Hubbards, the white pumpkins. All that was on irrigation, and they've done really well.
And how does that look like? Is there an area where you have constant water? I don't understand irrigation, how that works on a farm.
Actually, you lay a piece of plastic. It's about the width of this table.
Okay.
And it's got a piece of tape on it. It's called drip tape.
I've seen that.
You plant the pumpkins in the row of plastic, and it keeps the weeds down and the ground moist with the plastic covering it.
How many pumpkins would you say you all produce annually? That's a good question.
Weight or acres?
Let's try both.
Weight, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, we grow probably 15 acres of pumpkins.
Oh my God! How many acres of a farm is this?
There's a little over 300 in the farm.
Holy cow!
Yes.
That's a lot of acres. I don't know how long it takes to grow a pumpkin. How long does it take to grow a pumpkin?
I usually start pumpkins end of May, 1st of June.
Okay, it's not too bad.
Yeah, then middle of September, good season, you'll start seeing some pumpkins, maybe an orange one here or there, something that bloomed early.
Now, what do you do with the unused pumpkins? Or the ones that weren't picked and that kind of thing?
The wildlife, or they get worked back into the ground and to help for next year.
So you can just leave them there?
Yes.
That's a thing.
Yeah, I have some.
Okay.
I have a few people come in and pick them up for the deer, or got some pigs. They feed pigs, so.
So you don't have to really worry about that on a farm?
No.
Yeah, I'm obviously lacking in my farm knowledge, but that's okay. That's why I do this podcast, to meet wonderful people like you. You can help us get educated. I love that. And how do you keep everybody up to date on what's happening, locals and tourists alike? How do you, because you're so successful.
Like I say, we've been doing this for like 27 years. A lot of it's word of mouth. Everybody knows we're here. I think if we're Googled, pumpkin patches, we're one that comes up. So, just Google pumpkin patches will come up, or Hill High Farm. But we've done very well over the years. We've just been here so long.
Right.
We've got a lot of people that return.
Yeah. They treat people right, and they'll come back, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That's right. I love that. You're looking ahead. What do you see adding in the near future?
Well, we have the distillery we're adding here in a few weeks, hopefully to get it open. Also, I do have a winery and brewery license in the future. I'd like to do some wine and beer. We're always looking to expand more stuff for kids, more family-oriented stuff. As far as the haunted house, we put up a new building this year. We're not going to be able to get it open this year. We're going to have a store, axe throwing for kids.
Cool.
Virtual reality pods. That'll be here next year.
Virtual reality pods. What's going to be in them?
They're actually, they're two-seaters. You sit in them, and you can pick the program that you go through.
Okay. And that's going to be haunted house related?
Yes.
Okay. So that's...
Some of it will be themed haunted house, some of it won't.
Okay. So you may have the pods located near the escape rooms, I imagine.
Yes.
Look at me. I figured that out all by myself. Sometimes it all clicks.
Right.
Where do you get these virtual reality pods? Is this in the St. Louis, Missouri?
No, we actually purchased these off another haunt up in New York.
Another where?
Another haunted house in New York.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you're getting, so they're maybe getting something else and they're selling them.
They had a bunch of them and they were downsizing some.
Okay.
And we see these come available, so we purchased these.
Where did you see them come available? Facebook Marketplace? How does one find those?
There's actually a bunch of haunted house pages, buy and sell and so forth.
Okay.
And we come across it that way.
This is a whole industry.
Yes, it is.
I had no idea it was that huge.
Yes.
And it sounds like you guys didn't really either. You were expecting a much smaller expo in St. Louis. And then
actually the first year it was in Chicago, then it was in Vegas for a couple of years, and it's been St. Louis forever, it seems like. Mm-hmm. But every year the haunt show has grown. The amount of props and masks and animatronics and makeup, and it just keeps evolving, the technical stuff they come up with.
So you go every year?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. What time of year is it?
End of March.
Okay. So that gives people plenty of time to figure out what it is they want to purchase and install.
Yeah. Also, March gives a chance if you purchase something, it gives a time the company to make it to get it here by October.
Okay.
Because a lot of people start working on their haunted attractions in August, 1st September, getting ready.
Oh, okay. And it takes that long for the new pieces to come in.
Yes.
Where are they coming from?
All over the country. I mean, there's some companies in California, they're Colorado, some are on the East Coast. It's just wherever the company's at. But the stuff is shipped all over the United States to different haunts all over the United States.
UPS or Amazon?
Sometimes the bigger props are trucking companies.
That's amazing.
Yes.
What's your biggest prop?
We have a zombie attack, it's a pretty large prop, and we also have a witch in a well, and it's really well. We also have a vortex tunnel.
A vortex tunnel. Mm-hmm. What's the vortex tunnel?
It's a large. It represents a pipe, but it spins.
Okay.
It has black light in it,
mm-hmm.
and it's made to mess up your equilibrium.
Okay.
So it's called a vortex tunnel.
This is a lot for me to handle, but people that are into it, I imagine, cannot wait, or you wouldn't have 3-hour waits.
Yes. We have a 2-3 hour wait a lot of times towards the end of the season.
Wow. How many people can be in the haunted house at one time?
I've never actually counted. We can put people through, when there's a pretty good line, we can put people through fairly quick to keep people from waiting. And we also have a VIP line.
Oh, really?
It's more expensive, but you get to move forward with the lines and you have to pay the price.
Of course, absolutely. So is that what comes with the VIP? It's kind of like Disney. I can't remember the
wait.
Yeah, you get the pass. I can't remember what it's called right at the moment, but yeah. So is there anything else that comes with that VIP ticket other than that? Okay. What is the VIP ticket cost?
$25.
$25. So versus $15.
Yes.
Well, there you go, Laughers. Now you know how you can get through there faster, or you can take one of the night rides, hayrides, too.
Actually, if when you're standing in line in our queue line, we have a lot of people that actors outside that mess with people in queue line and stuff. So it's entertaining outside as well.
They're just standing there.
Right.
So, I don't know. I might have to pay for the VIP so I don't get messed with too much just to get through it one time.
Right.
Have you gone through as a regular patron versus?
Yes, I have. Okay. I followed through with a group of people just to go through
and see how it's going.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like this kind of stuff?
Yes, I do.
Have you always liked
it? Yes.
Okay, since you were a little kid.
Yes. How
about your family? Are they all into it too?
My boys helped when they were younger. They're not so much into it now. My wife, she stays out.
I'll stay out with your wife.
Okay.
We'll hang out together and I'll eat her goodies.
All right.
Her macadamia cookies and her sweet potato pie.
Yeah, they're good.
Just that's a nice callback. Remember that. I've got to made my mental note right here. So what other what would you say? Let me just rephrase this. What would you say to the first-time visitor to encourage them to take the time out to come here?
To learn more about agriculture, where your food comes from.
Oh,
we have the animals here, the pumpkins. Over the years, we also do field trips through the week for school groups.
Oh, that's great.
I explain to the kids where food comes from, kind of an educational thing. They get to go on a hayride, to visit the animals, they get to play. A lot of times they eat lunch here. But just realize what agriculture is about and where your food comes from. I think less than 1% of the world, or at least of the United States, are farmers. And we lose a lot of farm ground every year
to housing developments and things,
and businesses, a lot of industrial parks, stuff like that. But just realize where what we do and where your food comes from.
And I mean, I certainly have my own opinions about why that's so important, but I also haven't been a farmer my whole life. So I would love, because you have, to ask that question to you, why that is so important.
It's a growth circle. I like to grow things. I always have. I'm always trying to grow something new, something different. I don't know how to explain it. I just enjoy the outdoors. I love growing row crops. I just, it's vital to the world.
Farm to table food.
Yes.
Versus, I'm just learning more about the GMOs, the genetically modified.
There's a lot of that out there. Fresh is always better.
Yeah.
There's a lot of food out there that is genetically enhanced and not good for you. A lot of preservatives. Anything natural is better.
Well, you've probably seen a lot of changes in your lifetime with farming. You mentioned there's less than 1% of farms out there now. Was there a bigger percentage when you were younger?
I think so.
Okay.
Back in the day, when my dad, I'm not that old. I'm 54. My grandfather was 91 when he passed. And, he always said, you'll see a lot of changes. He said, you won't see the changes I've seen. Because my grandfather started farming with horses and an old steel wheel tractor. And he passed away in 2011. And, of course, we had a lot more equipment then. And it's even gotten more so now. But things change a lot. It's just the different of changes.
What's the biggest change you've seen in your 54? Well, I'm sure as a baby you did get a little break there.
Yeah.
But for the majority of your life, you've been doing this. What is some of the biggest changes you've seen?
The electrical stuff.
Okay.
The GPS guidance, cell phones, all that stuff. There's so many things out there that can help you right now.
Do the farming.
Yes.
Even in our modern day world.
Yes.
If you could change one thing about farming right now in our modern day world, what would it be?
That's a hard one.
I know.
Modern day farming.
Yeah.
That's hard. I think everybody ought to have a garden and some animals. That's like say back in the day when my grandfather and my dad, everybody had cattle or hogs. They grew a garden. Nobody does that anymore.
That's true. I live in a condo. I don't have a garden.
Right.
So if I did, probably, the pots on the deck would make more sense than an actual garden where I live. But there's a lot of that apartment housing and condo townhome kind of living happening now.
There's a lot of it now.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, there was some apartments here and there, but not like there is now.
Which isn't conducive to having your own garden.
Right. Like I said, there's a lot more people on the face of this earth.
True. Which is all the more reason, laughers, to come out to this beautiful farm so you can experience it since we have less of it. Hopefully we can change some of that in the future. That would be amazing.
I'd like to see more people be able to farm and open more farm ground up. But it seems like every day more farm ground is consumed. I seen a statistic the other day. I forget how much farm ground we lose every day, but it's a lot.
It's a lot. Like football fields full.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
But the technology with farming now, we are producing a lot more food per smaller area.
But that part's good.
Yes.
So a little bit more bang for our buck with what we have available.
Yes.
I think that'd be so interesting to talk to, farmers organization about that at some point on our podcast too, because I think that's relevant to what we're all living right now. So, but we're here today to talk about the pumpkin patch. So I want to ask you, as we wrap up here, how best can the people follow the pumpkin patch at Hill High Farm to get more information and come out and experience it?
Well, we do have the website, Hill High Farm Pumpkin Patch website. We also have a Haunted Nightmares website, or Google Pumpkin Patch or Haunted House. We'll be there.
Yeah, I know you're on Facebook too.
Yes, ma'am.
And Instagram?
I'm not on Instagram.
So Facebook, everybody, and the websites for sure. Well, I want to thank you, Vernon, for talking with me today and sharing with me all that you have to offer here and parts of your life. It's truly been a blessing for me. And I love that you shared with the laughers all things Hill High Farm here at the Pumpkin Patch with the Haunted House. So thanks again for coming on the show.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate being on the show.
Yes, such a pleasure. So much. And laughers, to get more information about the tickets and everything else that they do here, you have two websites that you can check out. One is the pumpkin-patch.net, and then there is also hauntednightmares.net. So the pumpkin patch sorry about that. The pumpkin-patch.net and hauntednightmares.net. Also, laughers, thank you for tuning in today and spending time with us. This is so exciting. This is a beautiful place in the world that we live in, the Shenandoah Valley, and it is our pleasure to bring all this content to you so you can get more out of your Shenandoah Valley experience. Whether you live here or want to visit here, we highly recommend it, and this place as well. So give our podcast a like, subscribe, follow. It helps us grow so we can do more of this for you. And I truly appreciate that you've taken time out of your day to either listen or watch us. It is also a big blessing to me. So thank you so much. And you can follow us. It's available wherever you listen, on Apple, Spotify, Audible, all the things for the audio version, but also the video version now available on YouTube on the Funny Womack channel. And if you've ever not heard of the Funny Womacks, I am Dawn Davis Womack, and my husband is also a professional comedian, Chris Womack, JMU professor, and together we are the Funny Womacks. So you would subscribe to that channel, would really help us grow and mean a lot. And lastly, and most importantly, thanks for tuning in, Laughers. Out of all the podcasts out there, you picked us, and we think that's pretty darn special, just like you. Until next time, keep smiling. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Virginia is for Laughers podcast, brought to you by the Funny Womacks and Friends. We'll be dropping a new podcast every Wednesday, so check back for another uplifting episode. Come to a FWAF show or let us bring one to you. To find out more, head to thefunnywomacks.com. Be sure to share this podcast with a friend, and until next time, cheers.